Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike O'Brien, and in this video, I want to show you guys the differences between the Samsung Galaxy S10 series and the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 series. So these two series both came out from Samsung this year, and they're both very, very impressive super phones. There's a lot going on with both of them, but there are some subtle differences that can definitely make you love or hate one phone in comparison to the other. So in this video, like I said, I'm going to dive in and show you guys all of the differences between these phones to help you decide where you want to spend your money and which phone is the right one for you. So starting off, I want to mention that each one is a series of phones. So there's the Note 10, the Note 10 Plus, and a 5G version. And likewise on the S10, there's the S10e, S10 Plus, S10 regular, and then also a 5G phone as well. So in this video, I actually have the S10 regular right here, and I have the Note 10 Plus, but I'm comparing the series in general, pointing out the major differences between them, and then I'll also mention some differences between the different models. So starting off on the back of these phones, you'll see that the Note 10 series has the cameras rearranged in comparison to how they were on the S10 series. So no longer are they the big Cyclops looking thing sideways. Instead, they're stacked a little more vertically, a little bit more like the iPhones were before. And I think this is actually a better orientation for these because it leaves a smaller gap in a phone case, which means these lenses are less likely to get scratched when your phone is in your pocket and anything else is in your pocket with that. So I would say that's definitely a +1 for the Note 10 series right there. But on the flip side, the S10, as you notice on the side right there, they do have the heart rate sensor. So the Note 10 series does not have a heart rate sensor. I don't know if people use the heart rate sensor that much. I think I used it a little bit when I first got the Samsung Galaxy S10. It was fun to use, but now the only real drawback that I see with that is when you open up the Samsung Health app, it's a little bit harder to find the heart rate if you have heart rate data coming in from like a watch, for example. So that's just one drawback, and I would say that is definitely 1 point for the Samsung Galaxy S10 series. Now, other differences here. On the front, you'll see they did move the camera on the Note 10. I can't really say which one's better. I want to hear it from you guys. Actually comment down below if you like the camera in the middle better or on the top right better. I think if I really had to choose, I'm just so used to it being on the top right. I've been using the S10 for so long now that I think I might like it a little bit better on the top right, just because when you're watching videos and you have it turned sideways, you don't have a big black dot in the middle of the side of your video. It's kind of more in the corner where you don't tend to really look that much anyway. I will say the Note 10 does have a slightly smaller cutout for the camera, so the hole punch is a little bit less intrusive on the Note 10. That's a small win for the Note 10 right there, but I don't know which one actually gets the win for the front-facing camera. Another important difference to note is the storage of these. So the Note 10 has significantly more storage on it. The lowest model is 256 gigabytes, which is an insane amount of memory for a phone. And then the S10 series has a lowest of 128, which is still a lot, still probably more than a lot of people will need on the phone. So I don't know if that's really a drawback for you that this has less, but both of them can go up and you can have larger storage on either of them depending on which one you buy. Now, the S10 series does have expandable storage on there, whereas the Note 10 only has expandable storage on the Note 10 Plus. So that means if you get the Note 10 regular, you cannot get a micro SD card in there. I think a very obvious difference in these two phones is the screen. So as you can see right there, the Note obviously has these square corners. That's classic of the Note look right there. So the screen extends farther into the corners and also has a slightly smaller bezel on the top and the bottom. Both of them obviously have the round edges on the side for the Infinity O display. So the screen is massive compared to the body on both of these, but the Note is slightly bigger of the screen, in comparison to the body itself. Looking at the side of the phones, you will see that the S10 does have the Bixby key right there. And I think the Bixby key for some people is a win. Some people, they don't like it. I like it because they allow you to reprogram it on this phone right here. So what you can do is have it, I press it once and I open up Snapchat. I can double press it and open up Bixby. I never double press it because nobody cares about Bixby really. And then you also have the power button on the other side that you can double press and open up the camera. On the Note 10 Plus here, you have the choice where you only have the on button right there, the power button, and you can either double press that to open up an app, or you can open up a camera, or you can open up Bixby. Now you can also press and hold that to open up either the power menu or to summon Bixby again. And if you choose to not have the power menu there, the only way to actually turn your phone off is to go up into settings and select the off button right there. So the Note 10, just like all the other Notes, of course, is the only place you can get the S Pen. So strangely enough, the S Pen does not come with the S series. It only comes with the Note series. But the S Pen is new and improved on the Note 10 right here. So you have some really cool Bluetooth gestures you can do right there. So you can actually swipe up and down and move around and swirl to zoom and do a lot more with the pen right here. You can also write on your screen when your phone is off to take quick notes, and then it'll save it automatically when you put your pen back in your phone. So having the S Pen is a cool plus on the Note 10 right here. So I would definitely say that's something that if you could have an S Pen and if it would work on the S10 series, I think that would be kind of cool to have. But having it on the Note 10 is definitely a plus. If you're somebody that likes to draw or somebody that likes to do presentations from your phone and you want to have a remote right there, it's pretty cool to do it with this. Of course, if you're really worried about using a remote for taking pictures or for presenting, you could probably use like a Galaxy Watch, for example, or some other remote device to connect to your phone to do that if you go with the S10. One that I should have mentioned earlier, but I didn't, and this is a huge difference, I think this might be a deal breaker for a lot of people, is the headphone jack. So the S10 series does have a headphone jack. The Note 10 series does not. They finally got rid of the headphone jack on that one, which is a little bit unfortunate if you're somebody that likes to use non-Bluetooth headphones and they plug in right there. You are going to have to get a dongle where it goes in and plugs in USB-C on the bottom. Not a huge deal to get that little dongle. Honestly, you probably have dongles all over the place anyway. It's 2019. Everyone loves to have dongles plugging into USB-C. Every laptop has a million of them apparently. Definitely a huge drawback in my opinion of the Note 10. I really do like having the headphone jack on the S10. So if you're in a car, you can plug in the aux cord there. You can plug in your headphones to this. You can plug in a lot more than you can with the Note 10 unless you get that dongle. So the actual software on these phones, of course, they're both running One UI, but there are a couple features that are specific to the Note 10 right here. So one of them is the Windows integration. And so what you can do is actually swipe down to your quick settings up top. And it's actually really nice how there is a link to Windows option. In Windows, you can actually open up photos, you can send messages from your laptop, and you can also access the entire phone interface and use it from your laptop. So just a cool thing you can do right there, integrating with Windows. It's kind of what Apple's been doing for a long time with their ecosystem. I guess Windows and Google are kind of getting along a little better now and trying to make that integration so that more people from Android's side can actually use it a little more seamlessly. Another thing that is really cool with both of these phones is Samsung DeX. Now, like I said, they do both have them, and you can plug in just an adapter on the bottom. You don't need the DeX stand or anything from Samsung. You literally just need a USB-C to an HDMI adapter. But what's cool about the Samsung Note 10 here is it actually works a little bit better on Windows and Mac. So as soon as you plug it in USB-C into your laptop, it'll automatically open up exactly what you think it will, a DeX interface right there, which is a little bit weird. I don't know why you want a different UI on your laptop, so I don't really see that as a huge useful feature for me, but it could be useful for you. What I think the DeX is really useful for, and this is where it's a tie for both phones, is just plugging into a different TV. And actually, I made a different video on DeX altogether. If you want to see that, check it out right there. DeX is really, really cool, and these phones, because they're so powerful, and they're actually very expensive as well, they might be able to actually replace your laptop. That's how I justify the price. I kind of say, yes, this is $1,000, but it's a phone and a laptop. So if you can get rid of two things, combine them into one, it's like $500 for each then. And it kind of makes sense that maybe you can justify that in your budget to buy one of these two phones. When you swipe down into your quick settings, another thing that you'll notice is the media and devices control immediately right there in the quick settings. It's a little bit easier on the Note 10 to do that. Maybe that's something that will show up on the One UI on the S10 eventually with updates, but it's not there right now. So that's definitely another plus if you have other devices, other Bluetooth devices or smart TVs in your home and you want to connect them and control them from your Note 10. It's a little bit easier to access that right there. Now the batteries on these are both very similar. I would say the Note 10 has a slightly larger battery, about 200 extra milliamp hours for every model as you move up, and I'll post the specs on the screen right there. But you know, obviously the screen is a little bit larger in the corner, so you can't really relate battery life too much to the battery size on these. I would say that it's almost essentially a tie for these two. They last about the same amount of time. Of course, it depends on a lot of different factors. Some cool features, like I said with the S Pen before, you actually have some AR features on this as well that are kind of new and specific to the S10 or the Note 10 series right here. And that is, one of them is AR Doodle, which is pretty cool. You're able to, you know, doodle things in air and it'll look fun. I don't know. I don't really use that much, but you also have the AR Measure app on here, which is just another cool app that you can kind of play around with and get a general idea of how big things are if you need a quick measurement of something. It's not perfectly accurate, but it's pretty close. Some other built-in software on the Note 10 Plus here. You do have a McAfee integrations for some security on here, or a VPN if you want to do that. I don't find that to be a huge deal. I downloaded NordVPN on my S10 anyway. That's what I use. It works really well and it integrates pretty well anyway, so I don't really need McAfee right there. But you also have an onboard screen recorder camera on the Note 10, that's a big plus. So if you go down to quick settings, again, this is where you're finding some of the really cool features on the Note 10. There's a built-in screen recorder similar to what Apple has been doing for a while. So no longer do you need that extra app to record your screen if you're making videos. So the cameras, of course, have very similar specs like I said before, but the actual software on board is a little bit different. So one thing that the Note 10 has that the S10 does not is the live focus video. So you can actually take videos, and I'll show you a sample right now. So guys, this is the live focus video right here. I'm doing the black and white one so you can really tell what the background is compared to me. You would see little, weird color points if it didn't detect it perfectly. And so here you're seeing it definitely is doing a really good job of that. In my previous video where I reviewed this phone alone, I had a kind of brownish background and it was a little bit weird with that. Guys, you also have some other really cool backgrounds you can do with live focus video. So this one right here is, I don't even know how to explain this. This is a really cool looking one though. There's just the classic blurry one right here where the whole background just blurred out. This is probably like the portrait mode as you're thinking of, and it still looks pretty good. So one big camera difference you'll notice is that the S10 is a lot more zoomed out than the Note 10, and part of that is for the stabilization. So you see right there, it is a little more stable if you're using the Note 10. Now I'm going to flip it around and use the wide angle lens and run and see how that looks. So the S10 series is a little bit cheaper right now if we're talking about price. So the S10e you can find on Amazon for somewhere around $600. You can find a brand new S10 right here, just a regular S10 for around $900. It's a lot cheaper if you get one that's refurbished. And then of course the S10 Plus is about $950 and you can get it cheaper, somewhere around $650 if you get one of those refurbished. Honestly, refurbished might not be a bad option for you. Obviously the Note 10, because it's so new, there are no refurbished ones out there yet, and the Note 10 is about $1,000, the Note 10 Plus is about $1,100, so the price difference is definitely a very big point right there between the two. So guys, those are essentially all the differences I found between these two different devices. I think that for me, the S10 might be the better phone just because I really like the headphone jack. I really like the size and the rounded corners on this. It fits in my pocket really well, and I kind of do like the camera a little bit better in the corner. The Note 10 is an amazing phone and has a lot more power and some cool features right there. If you're trying to use this as a laptop or do presentations off of it, having the S Pen is also really cool, and I really like having that built into the phone. There's some cool gestures with that, but which phone is actually the best one for you? Guys, comment down below and let me know what you think of these two phones, which one is better and why. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.